Hi there, thank you for joining us for another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. This is a show where we talk about all things that we love in pop culture.
Excuse me?
Bless you. We talk about new and old movies, trailers, different types of books, and of course TV and streaming. I'm one of your hosts, Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi, everyone.
And here's our special guest star, Fluffy Kitty. She's somewhat behaving so far this morning.
She just attacked me.
Yeah, but it looks like she's ready for a close-up. She looks like she's giving you the evil eye there.
Yeah, she is. Like, too much touching.
Okay. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us the thumbs up. That always helps us out. You can always subscribe. We post more content here every week. And what was I going to say there? Yes, I'm going to break down the episode here for you. But we're going to divide it up into parts. So I'm going to have the time codes, different chapters in the description. It's also on the time bar, so you can jump ahead in case you want to skip to a certain part. Or if we're talking about something in spoilers, you can just jump ahead and then come back to that later on. Breaking down this episode, we got a little bit of news that we're going to cover in just a minute. We got 3 trailers / TV spots that we're going to review.
Yeah.
And then we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to review from this week. We got Star Trek Picard.
Yes.
Season 3, Episode 5. Then we got Episode 13, Season 2 of The Bad Batch, Star Wars The Bad Batch. Then we're going to talk about Knock at the Cabin, which came out in February, but you just saw it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk more about Shazam! Fury of the Gods, because you just saw that as well. I saw it on Thursday and already reviewed it. We're going to quickly review 21 Jump Street from 2012. Yeah? There's a classic comedy. And then we're going to jump into one of our classic segments of Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway. So getting right into it, unfortunately, we got to start off with some sad news.
Yes.
Big star Lance Reddick, who is most recently known from the John Wick series. He plays the concierge. He died this week at the age of 60. That wasn't reported on all the major trades, and even it was on major news.
That's
so
bad.
Even
He's
within
the concierge and dog carer.
So all the major networks in America, as well as some here in Canada, they covered that. He died of natural causes at age 60.
Jeez.
Which
I'm assuming that he's in the next one that's just coming out.
Oh yeah, because they would have recorded that a couple of years ago.
I assume he's in it. I mean, I would assume he is. He's been in all of the ones.
Pretty sure he is. I can look it up on IMDb.
He basically plays the concierge at the Assassin Hotel.
Yeah, and apparently everyone's saying that this is like he was the greatest guy, most nice guy to work with. Which, jeez. Let's see, Lance Reddick, he's in it. Charin, the concierge.
He's in it again.
I didn't know that was his name.
Because the hotel has always been the central feature of these movies.
The Continental, So it's him and Ian McShane.
Yeah.
You know, if this new one is a success and they go ahead with number 5, possibly more, I'd say they probably just recast. I mean, it sucks, but
they might have a new hotel in the future. But, I wish that all the concierges were like him. Gee, he's a great concierge. When you go to a hotel, you don't have to worry. All your needs are met.
He's so polite and respectable to everyone in this role. But apparently to all the reports, like, everyone saying who knew him, worked with him, really nice he's like, this is the nicest guy ever. I never met him. I don't know, but that sucks that we lost him at age 60.
This movie come out.
Damn.
It's coming out. When is it coming out? Next week?
Yeah, March 24th.
Oh, jeez.
Comes out in less than a week. So that's in 5 days because it's Sunday right now.
Hopefully you got to go to whatever party there was for the movie.
I
guess.
It's
probably coming up this week, though.
Yeah, there would have been a premiere this week, so
damn. Oh, man. That's too bad.
Okay, well, that was a bummer, but now we're going to jump into some fun stuff.
Yeah.
We just watched some trailers, and the first one we watched is for a little-known movie called Joyride, coming out June 23rd of this year.
Yes.
This is a movie by the guys who made Crazy Rich Asians, which was quite good, and a lot of people enjoyed it. So now they're making this movie about 2 Asian girls who are both brought up in the U.S., and this movie is by Seth Rogen and his production company, Point Grey.
Oh, apparently there's another movie called Joyride. I just looked it up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a few. There's a few.
The right one.
You gotta look up the 2023 one.
Yeah.
Now, since you're looking up stuff, I found this trailer on YouTube. I don't think it's gonna have a lot of marketing on it, especially right now, but it looks hilarious. This could be one of the funniest movies this year.
It looks really
It's
funny.
a Red Band trailer. Don't show your kids this, because there's a lot of adult stuff about drugs and hiding drugs. I don't want to get too much into it, but watch the trailer because it's really funny.
Yes.
What did you think of this, dear?
Oh, I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
I thought it looked really good. I'm so looking forward to it.
I watched this earlier in the week, and then we just watched it now, so it was my second viewing, and I was laughing the entire time.
It's interesting they're calling it Joyride, because Joy was her character, Stephanie Hugh. That was her character's name in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Is she in this movie?
Yeah.
Would you look it up?
She's in it.
Because
yeah,
I think one of the girls in it, because it's about two Asian girls, I'm guessing they're around 20, I guess, early adulthood.
Yeah.
And one of them was from Everything Everywhere All at Once, was the daughter.
Yes.
Oh man, so funny. Like with all the drugs and the hiding of them, and they're going to China, and then they're just like all these stereotypes. They're like, white people, and then they're talking trash to them in either Mandarin or Cantonese, and they don't even know
the language. They're saying really inappropriate things. These are probably all they've learned is swears and bad words, right? It's like me. I know a lot of bad words in Gaelic. I don't know a lot of words in Gaelic, but a lot of them
I'm sure they learned that from their parents or from their friends. Yeah, check out this trailer. It looks absolutely hilarious. I mean, it's Seth Rogen. He makes a lot of good stuff, and he can be really funny.
It looks really
This is a Seth Rogen comedy, so combined with the guys from Crazy Rich Asians, I'm in. I enjoy.
Great. I can't really see it being bad. I mean, the trailer, it just looks so funny, and they have like this dead-eyed cousin. when we hear about him, then we see him in the trailer. Like, yep, that's a dead eye.
The pop band stuff in the trailer. They're pretending to be pop stars.
Really funny. Anyway, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be up there with like 21 Jump Street that we're going to talk about.
I don't
later.
think this is going to be in like wide release everywhere unless it gets really good buzz. It probably isn't going to be much marketing, but check out this trailer for Joyride coming out in June of 23. And if there's more than one, go for the Red Band trailer. It means it's restricted.
It's kind of like
you're gonna love
it or something.
If anyone checks this out, let us know your thoughts. Are you excited for this movie? Maybe this isn't your type of humor. Maybe this is definitely for you. I don't know. Maybe you're Asian and you think this is terrible. I mean, we can only give our perspective, but
it looks really funny.
I'm in. I can't wait for this to come out. And I didn't even know about this at the beginning of the week.
It just made me laugh.
Next, we got something you're probably looking forward to. Barry Season 4 on HBO.
Now, Barry is one of my favorite shows.
What's that guy's name?
I have really enjoyed it over, these past few years. I got you finally to watch it. I was telling you, you gotta watch this show. You gotta watch this show. And finally, Gregory watched it, and you enjoyed it as well. I think it's really terrific. It's such a interesting premise, and the acting and the characters that they have in it are just so terrific.
Bill Hader. Why couldn't I remember his name?
I mean, they're just terrific. And Henry Winkler and Stephen Root.
The Fonz is in this show.
And Stephen Root is terrific. He's the guy that plays his handler.
Yep.
He is just terrific.
Yeah, Stephen Root's hilarious. Now,
he's terrific.
If you're, say, someone that's, let's say you got a little bit more experience here on Earth, and you know who the Fonz is.
Everybody knows who the Fonz is, don't they?
Younger generations do not. Most millennials wouldn't know who the Fonz is.
Really?
Unless, prove me wrong, if you're a millennial and you know who the Fonz is, write down in a comment below.
Oh my gosh.
But if you're someone who was watching TV from the 50s and 60s, you'll know who the Fonz is.
Came out later.
Henry Winkler. He's in this show. He's been in all 3 past seasons of the show. He's not a cameo. He's actually a supporting actor. He's great.
When I was a kid, Happy Days was in syndication, and it played constantly. I think it was on every single day when I was a kid, and I only had 2 channels.
Yeah, but
the French channel. 2 channels in the French channel.
Well, not everyone is a Gen Xer like yourself, okay?
It played every night, and it's what an iconic figure the Fonz.
Yeah, but we're talking about Barry. So
but it is
Bill
he's
Hader is
terrific
great.
in it.
The premise of this show is Bill Hader plays Barry, he's a hitman, and Stephen Root is his handler.
Or yeah,
sort
his
of,
manager. He's like those bands that have like worked really hard and been very successful, but they don't see any money because their manager's taking it off.
Screwing them over. Yeah, so
It's
he's
like
screwing
that.
them over. So they kind of break ties in the first season. You got the Fonz in it as the acting coach because this hitman wants to become an actor in Hollywood. Of course, why not?
He comes upon it and he doesn't have any ties. He doesn't have any family or anything, and he sees this group and he really sees it looks funny. He loves. I don't know. He just thinks that'd be like a family.
He wants to have a life and he wants to have friends.
He falls for a girl.
So you got Sarah Goldberg. She's the love interest.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's great in this. Now
the things her
Anthony
character does.
Kerrigan plays Hank.
Also fantastic.
Is he Czechoslovakian? He's supposed to be in this.
Oh my gosh, he's
Or
fantastic.
Czech. And
he is so fantastic.
He's this guy. He has no hair on his head. He doesn't even have eyebrows.
He is so
but he's hilarious.
funny.
So he's weird to look at.
He is so
great.
funny. Oh, what and the writing for him. I mean, these actors they're really privileged to have this material written for them.
Well, it's HBO. That's the gold standard when it comes to TV.
He is able to shine so much with that. Oh my gosh, it's so
even
funny.
Though this is about a hitman, this is a comedy. In fact, is it listed as a comedy?
I don't know. It's such an interesting show. It really doesn't fall within the norms of TV. It's very different.
No, it doesn't.
I just love it. I think it's so smart. It is violent though. It's about an assassin. So if you don't like violent things, you might not like it. But it is so funny.
It's labeled as a comedy.
And
now there is some drama.
There is
in
a lot
it.
of drama. Well, he's been to war, and there's a lot of things like that. You know.
Yeah, he has a lot of
really
PTSD.
Messed up mentally, and his problems that he has.
It says this season is only 4 episodes. I guess they're just wrapping it up.
Oh!
I'm guessing the ratings have been going down on it, so they're just ending it. Now, maybe it's 4 2-hour episodes. I don't know.
Down. I mean, it's a fantastic show. I think it's terrific.
I think the ratings have been going down on it.
Well, you said it had a 99% critic rating. I mean, who else? What show has that?
And a high audience score, but that just means that the people who watch it are really enjoying it. But that doesn't mean a lot of people are watching it. People are not subscribing to HBO or HBO Max to see Barry. But if you have HBO, or if you're gonna get it here in Canada, we get it on an app called Crave. Watch Barry because I recommend
fantastic.
it.
I think
I give it a best series ever.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it ends strong.
I love it.
Looking forward to it. It comes out on April 16th, so not very long.
No, right after Easter.
It's just this theme. We keep getting spoiled with so much good TV.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Anyone else out there checking out Barry on HBO? If you're not, you got time to get caught up on 3 seasons. They're only like 8-9 episodes a season, and they're not that long. Check it out. It's worth it. But if it's not for you, either way, let us know down in the comments below. We want to hear your thoughts. Then we got a very 30-second spot, which you talked through half of it, for Only Murders in the Building Season 3, which we don't know when is coming back. This is a Hulu show.
Didn't say a lot in the trailer.
No, it's just this spot is just to get people talking again about it because this show is so popular with critics and with audiences. So it's coming back, and they got 2 big stars in it.
Yeah, they always
in
have
the promo.
A star.
Who are the big stars?
We've got Meryl Streep is in it.
Yep, she's the heavy, I guess. She's the heavyweight.
Ant-Man.
And then Paul Rudd, Ant-Man himself, is in it.
Somebody else. Every season there has been a kind of a big star in it. Like, first season we had Sting. Then last time we had the funny girl.
The funny girl, Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer.
Very funny female comedian.
And, like, the people that live in the building, because they all live in this building in New York City.
Was there another celebrity cameo in season 2?
I don't know.
I think there might have been, but I blocked it out. I tapped out on this show after season 2. I kind of struggled to get through it. So I tapped out of it.
I really like it.
So I'm not watching season 3, even with, I mean, I'm not a big Meryl Streep fan. I mean, what's her character's name from Mamma Mia?
The mom? I really enjoy Meryl Streep.
Well, you got Meryl Streep from Mamma Mia.
Jeez, I think she's really good. I don't think that she probably doesn't have a big role. Like, none of those guest stars have had a big role. We had Andrea Martin was in the last season. I mean, that's Canadian comedy royalty, I suppose. Let's see. Oh, Tina Fey. Yes, Tina Fey's the other
Tina
person
Fey
in
was
it.
in it.
She basically is their kind of competitor.
Are you going to check out season 3? There's not much to say. It's just
I really
short
enjoy
spot.
this show. I really like it. I think it's really charming. It has a lot. I really enjoy it. I know why you don't like it though. It's not as like fast paced. It has a lot of like they're scrambling a lot. And I know you don't care for that.
That's not why I didn't like it. I found season 2 rather convoluted, and they're really stretching it with this murders thing all the time. Plus, I'm not enjoying Selena Gomez in it. And while Martin Short and Steve Martin are comedy legends,
I love them.
They need more humor in it. It doesn't really appeal to me. This humor appeals to, let's say, more experienced generations. There is some good humor in it.
It's not supposed to be that funny. I think it's not like Barry has all things like that. We look at Barry.
But I want it to be funny. I want it to be really funny.
It's not supposed to be that funny. That's the thing. I find it really charming.
The story with them podcasting and then trying to solve these murders because they're, junior detectives, apparently.
Getting stuck in the middle of it all.
It's kind of, it's a bit far-fetched.
Oh, we can't forget Nathan Lane. Nathan Lane's been in all of them.
I'm finding that they just lost me on it in season 2, so I'm not going back to this. Christine's looking forward to it and really likes it. What do you think of Only Murders in the Building? This is one of the biggest shows on TV that's still running right now.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know if it ever hits #1. I'd have to look at the ratings.
I just really like it.
But if you enjoy this show, Only Murders in the Building, or if you don't enjoy it, let us know down in the comments below. We'll read it out on next episode. So that's our 3 promos / trailers. Now we're going to jump into our reviews. So we're out in space, and we're talking Star Trek Picard, Season 3, Episode 5, which is called Imposters.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. Go right ahead there,
Well, it's going to have to be a bit of spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler review because we have to talk about something.
Barry hasn't seen it. It's hard to explain it.
No, spoilers.
Last episode, I wasn't too keen on the birthing of the squid creatures.
From the nebula?
Didn't make any sense.
Well, we found out how the nebula got impregnated by watching Voyager.
Barry explained to me how it got impregnated. Anyway, so it wasn't the greatest. I thought it was a bit off, so I was kind of stressed about this episode. But this episode was very good, I thought. It brings back a character. Now, we have seen characters being brought back in Picard previously. Interesting
seasons?
Characters, yes.
Yeah, Data, Brent Spiner.
No.
I'm pretty sure he's in it.
You're not listening. We saw Hugh. Hugh was a main character.
That's Brent Spiner.
No. Hugh. Jeepers.
Lauren. Sorry, I'm thinking of Lauren.
My gosh.
It's been a long time since I saw TNG.
Hugh is in it because he was a Borg that they captured in an episode, if you remember that.
Barely.
Yeah, they bring back characters
a kid, right?
from. He was a young person. They bring back characters from the original series, like that were in like a couple of episodes or 1 episode or whatever.
And it's Jerry really Ryan from Voyager.
Well, no, she was a main character. They bring back characters that were in 1 episode.
Yep.
Of TNG in the show. I really like it.
Here's my question for you on this. Have we seen Will Wheaton in any of the series yet?
Yeah, we did see him.
When?
He was as an add-in. He was in the very last scene, I think, of season 2. He's not involved with this cast at all.
Why not?
He's in a new agency that is dealing with keeping. He's like a Time Lord, keeping time.
It's nice that they brought him back.
Yeah, he didn't need to be in it. He was recruiting for this agency that he works for. But he's not in it. So far, Geordi's still not in it. And Data's not in this episode. Data has been in previous episodes, and Brent Spiner has been in most of the episodes.
Did he slim down? Because he was looking more like an old man instead of an android that doesn't age.
No, he played an older, father. He played,
an android's a father.
No, he's played his creators. He's played his creators.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Soong.
He's played some of the Soongs. or one of the new, I don't remember. Anyway,
Hey, good kid.
so, but in this episode, we have basically, it's interesting. What's happened is that they've got away from the bad guys, and we're still puzzled about what's happening with the changelings. And now it's time to pay. Like, now Starfleet has been called, and they're coming to take him and Riker away.
Oh, question. Who are the bad guys?
Everybody.
Well, this is a spoiler, so what do you mean by
Everybody
everybody?
is the bad guy. Don't trust anyone. That's what
Starfleet?
Beverly says. Yes.
Is it the old cliche of corrupt admirals? Because every admiral's corrupt in
It's
Starfleet
like
for some reason.
what happened with, I think it was it Gowron that was cloned?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. Apparently, these new type of changelings are everywhere. And
the Dominion guys?
yes.
Oh, they're bad.
They
They're
have
nasty
evolved.
bastards.
That's what. Remember, I don't know if you recall. I was telling you they don't look like changelings. Changelings normally turn into this golden liquid,
Mm-hmm.
but they're turning into this tissuey blood-looking thing when they melt into
So
their
they look
normal form.
gross?
Well, yeah, they don't look like they used to. There's for a reason, because they have evolved.
Weren't they dying off in Deep Space Nine?
Well,
That sounds vaguely familiar.
they were basically they've evolved or have mutated themselves, or a sect of them has, and they are now tissuey. So what's happened is the way that they used to pick up when the changelings became known. Apparently, like they changed all their everything on the ship to sense if there was a changeling.
Mm-hmm.
But they have changed themselves to get around that. So
Ooh.
they bleed and everything. Like if you cut one, it looks like a person. The
Is it
only
fake
way,
blood?
no, the only way you can tell it now is to take the body all apart, and eventually the organs start breaking down. They even make organs and everything. So they really evolved. So they realized that they were relying on the technology that wouldn't allow a changeling on board, but now they're realizing and we find out they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And what they bring back, who comes to arrest them? Because they basically commandeered a ship and done a lot of bad things and put
The
ship
changelings
in.
or Picard?
Picard and Riker have put everybody in.
Are all
in
the
peril.
most of the other crew with them on their
No.
ship? What's the name of their ship?
If they're on the Titan.
The Titan. Okay, who's on the Titan then of the old cast? You got Picard, you got Riker, you got Seven. Is she on that ship?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
the only one that works on the ship, and Geordie's daughter.
Geordie's daughter. What about
They
Geordie?
rescued. He's not there yet.
What about Worf?
No, he's a.
What about Crusher?
she
Beverly
was
Crusher?
rescued.
So she's on the ship
with
now.
them now.
No Will Wheaton. Is
No,
Brent
no, but
Spiner
his
there?
brother's no. His
Okay.
brother is there.
Who
He's
else is
got
there?
a brother.
Troy. Is Deanna Troy there?
No, but he talks to her. He
Yeah,
talks to her.
good
He thinks Riker thinks he's gonna die in the previous episode, and so he talks to her.
So she is in it. They're just talking to her.
Yeah, she gets
subspace
he
communication.
Yeah,
as
once they
say.
get out of the trouble and they don't fall into the nebula, he does talk to her.
Mhm.
Because they're going through a lot because he lost his child. Anyway,
Ouch.
So yeah, so who comes on to
Well,
arrest them? But it's Ro Lauren. Now, back in the olden days, she was a Bajoran that Picard had recruited, and she was supposed to go and infiltrate the Maquis.
Okay,
And
we don't need
I
all
do
this
remember
backstory
no,
because we gotta move on.
I'm telling you what the episode is about.
Yeah.
And she betrays Picard, and she goes off and joins them. And she
She's
was
a
put
rebel,
in
so-
jail. She was put in jail, apparently. But now she's actually got herself very well poised in Starfleet security. And so she's going to arrest them. But it turns out they start trusting each other.
Mhm.
And she's the one that is hired. Worf and Picard's old buddy have been working for her this whole time. Worf
Okay.
has been trying to discover this weapon that's been stolen from the Daystrom Institute.
So who
And-
are the imposters?
What do you mean?
That's the name of the episode. It's called
The
Imposters.
changelings.
Okay, so it's the Dominion changelings
They're
that
not
are
the
the
Dominion,
imposters.
not the Dominion.
Was this
We don't see
episode
any
better
of
or
them.
worse than episode 4?
Oh,
Because
much
you didn't
better.
like
I
that.
say it's much better. None of those Tetrasol white guys are there. We don't have any of those Dominion guys.
So overall,
Not
you're
yet,
still
anyway.
enjoying this season?
Yeah, I really like this one. It was really good. And anyway, in the end, they run away. They get away.
Who's they? The-
Picard and Riker and the Titan gets away.
From the changelings.
Well,
Gotcha.
yeah, but they still might
Okay.
have some on board.
Well, Christine's really enjoying Star Trek Picard season 3, except for episode 4, I guess.
Yeah,
I have no.
She's the only science person on the ship, by the way. She's doing all the science in
Yeah,
this.
remember our comment from last episode? That guy tweeted that she's sciencing it up, and guys yeah, she is.
She's sciencing these changelings, man.
She's sciencing the crap out of this.
Yeah, no data, just her.
Are
She's
you
the
enjoying Star Trek Picard season 3? Have you enjoyed this this particular episode, Imposters number 5? I can't comment, haven't seen it. Let us know your thoughts on Star Trek Picard down in the comments below. We'll talk about it in another episode. Moving on, also from this week, Star Wars The Bad Batch. So we're still out in space. We got Season 2, Episode 3, and is Episode 13 called Pabu. Do you remember what this one was about? The bad...
Yeah.
Okay, not once again, spoilers, because we gotta have something to talk about. The Bad Batch, the main crew, the 4 of them, there's Omega, Wrecker, Hunter, and Tech. They've informally severed ties with Sid, who's Rhea Perlman of Cheers fame, and now they're hanging out with Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
So they help out her character to get some artifacts, and then they go to a water planet. It's all water except for this one small island that they inhabit, and it's almost like they could have ended the show with this episode.
It's like an island in Greece, is what it reminds me of. The way that the buildings are all constructed and everything, like those islands in Greece with the white buildings. It's really interesting. They go there and they start considering maybe they should just take a vacation and stay a while.
Yeah, it seems as if they could have, you know, either ended the show or just had those characters pause and then go to other characters for the next few episodes, because we only got 3 more episodes of this season. Now, since we're talking about spoilers, there's a big tidal wave that comes, so there's some action they gotta save everyone.
Yeah, I mean, their whole purpose, they realize, like, Omega's not having a normal upbringing, and Wanda Sykes reminds them of that she needs to hang out with kids her own age, even though she's older than the Bad Batch. But they realize that, well, why are we doing all these missions? So maybe we should just stop and do what's best for her for a while and give her some friends and let her hang out with people her own age and have some fun.
That seems to be their dilemma. They're fugitives from the new Empire because the Republic has fallen in this era. This is an era where the Empire is slowly taking over, and we're starting to get Imperial stormtroopers, and earlier this season they're creating a new army of the Empire, because before they didn't have one.
It doesn't have a
they don't have the full stormtroopers that you get from, you know, original recipe Star Wars, but they're getting there. So it's a transition between the clone troopers and then the stormtroopers that you see in the original Star Wars. They're slowly changing the armor and the uniform.
What's important is that the Empire hasn't gotten everywhere yet. Now, we do know in the end they will get everywhere, but they haven't got to this place yet. Now, it is possible that this tsunami is due to activities of the Empire. Now, we don't know why it happened, but it was very unexpected. But of course, we know around here that those things do happen, and we've had whole towns washed out here before.
We're here on the far east coast of Canada.
Unfortunately, we've had that happen.
When you live on the ocean, there's big storms. This could happen. I think they just added that to this story because they wanted to have some more action in it instead of it just being like a nice, quaint story.
But in the end, they do intend to stay, and this time not as a holiday, but to help them rebuild all their little mud huts that got washed away, like sand castles.
I think they might jump to other characters. They might jump back to Crosshair for the next episode. They might jump to Echo and Captain Rex.
I don't know.
Who knows?
So they're going to stay for a while. They've been running for a long time, and
did you enjoy this episode?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah,
I liked it.
What a ringing endorsement. I'm still really on board for this show.
It wasn't like groundbreaking or anything. It wasn't like some of the other ones where you see a lot of character development or anything like that. But it still was interesting, and we're trying to figure out where is their place.
This episode was a nice break from the dark storyline that we're getting with Crosshair, because that deals with a lot of moral ambiguities and moral questions. It's like, should I be a soldier for these guys? Do good soldiers follow orders? And there's all these moral questions. And then there's all this bigger political stuff going on in Coruscant with the Republic changing into the Empire. And this was a nice break from that. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna save my my rating for it until the season is over. We got 3 more episodes coming.
Oh, only 3. Oh, wow.
Well, we're getting one on the 22nd this coming week, and then apparently we're getting the last 2 on March 29th, it said, according to Wikipedia.
So it'll be over by the end of the month. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're still
I'm
getting
enjoying
Mandalorian
good
that
thing we
we've been
still have
talking about.
Mandalorian then after that.
Although I'm not hearing anyone talk about this, so maybe we're the only ones enjoying Star Wars The Bad Batch. If you're enjoying it, or if you're not enjoying it, let us know down in the comments below what you think of Star Wars The Bad Batch. I think it's personally great. What do we got next? That was our review there. Okay, now we're going to go into something old. We're going to talk about Knock at the Cabin.
It's not that old.
Which is from February.
Yeah.
So we can spoil it. Spoiler review for Knock at the Cabin. You finally saw it this week?
I did. It finally was at a time.
What did you think?
Well, you know, Shyamalan movies and typical. I always enjoy them until the very end. I did enjoy Old. Now, Sixth Sense, perfect, absolutely perfect movie. Perfect. And therefore, if he wants to do a movie, everyone jumps, I guess. But a lot of them have been falling apart at the very end when, of course, he has to explain what has happened previous. But this one was a little bit of different.
How so?
From Shyamalan. It didn't fit that kind of... It didn't really fit. It was the same kind of theme all throughout. It didn't have that weird twist at the end.
Yeah, the twist at the end of this movie, as we're in spoilers, is that the people, what they were saying was true.
Yeah,
there's no twist. Really That's the twist. They're not crazy. No twist.
Of course, we do see Shyamalan in the movie eating chicken or something.
He's in he does a cameo in all of his movies.
But this was a little different. I got it right away that these people were the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Well, they said it.
No, before.
But they had the wrong names.
Way before that, it was just so weird and primitive, and there's 4 of them. Anyway, it was weird. The only thing about this. I didn't mind it. It was okay. It wasn't as good as many others movies. I think I liked it more than you did because I wanted to know what was going to happen with it all. And it had there was a weird twist in it that one of the horsemen actually previously was aware of these guys. And that was an odd thing. They never really did explain that.
True.
Coincidence or whatever, and that kind of messed up the whole plan that they had. But anyway, I think it's a dangerous movie to put out there, especially just after the pandemic. I think it's something that will fuel religious fanatics, so I kind of don't like it for that reason. I don't think it was maybe needed at this time because there's a lot of people out there that are very disgruntled, and I don't know. I think it kind of helps the crazies out, if you ask me. Because it was saying this was the end times.
Did you find that this was a lot of kind of shoving down your throat Christian doctrine and theology? Did you find that?
I don't know if it was. I wouldn't say that, but I think it's a bit scary to have a movie like that now. I don't think the timing was so good because we're just coming out of the pandemic and society has been so divided over that. I think this is probably not good timing, and I kind of don't like to encourage people to think tomorrow's the end and suicide cults and stuff like that.
There's always nutcases.
Yeah, I know. Basically, I think it's a bit dangerous. Nothing new. I think it was a bit dangerous of a movie. I found this movie boring throughout it. I didn't find it boring. It was
boring throughout, and then the ending was boring. It's not a visual effects heavy movie.
Oh,
Very few. So here's the thing. This movie, according to Collider.com, was made on a budget of around $20 million. Okay?
The actors were the money went.
Yeah, and possibly some of the sets, right? And production values. There's a little bit of visual effects, especially near the end. That's probably where a lot of the money went. Because those are expensive. But get this, so $20 million to make this movie, that's cheap, okay? And it has made worldwide $54 million, and this is how Shyamalan makes money. He makes all these movies on the cheap. Sometimes he puts up his own money, and so you have these movies that are made for $20 million, and it's made $54 million. So that means it's already made money. Has it made a lot of money? No, but if you make $1 million on it, that's still $1 million, right?
I don't think it was that bad of a movie. I just think it's a bad topic.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just concerned about
to me, this was a nothing movie. I give it a worst movie ever. What rating would you give this movie?
Probably a 76.
Okay, that's being generous.
I did enjoy the story. I wanted to know what was going to happen with the people, but I didn't like the premise. The premise was the problem. It just concerned me a lot. Anyway, still, like, if this was someone else did the movie, we would think it was interesting. I guess he has a lot to live up to. Some of his other movies were so good.
Well, we saw this because it's Shyamalan's name, right?
Oh.
So that's our thoughts on Knock at the Cabin, even though it's from mid-February. So this is over a month old now. What are your thoughts on Knock at the Cabin or Shyamalan's movies? Are you a fan of him, or have you tapped out on his movies? Because he started off strong with Sixth Sense, Unbreakable,
really
Signs, The Village. His movies seem to be diminishing returns.
Old was really good.
Old was all right.
Old was like, except for that end, if they would have just not had that end part. I really enjoyed Old.
Let's not get into that.
But still, he can do a good job. I think it was maybe it wasn't his traditional type of movie.
No.
I don't know.
What are your thoughts on Knock at the Cabin by Shyamalan? Let us know down in the comments below. We'll read it out on a future episode. Now, also new this week, which apparently no one's going to see, is Shazam! Fury of the Gods, also known as Shazam 2. So I did my spoiler-free review. Now, we're also going to do a spoiler-free review of this, but Christine saw it, so what did you think of this?
I liked it.
I liked it too. What did you like about it?
I was worried I wasn't going to like it. I liked it a lot better than Ant-Man.
Me too.
I thought it was a lot more charming. It was similar to the first one, but I think it had a lot going on. There were a couple little bit off things. It was maybe, they could have cut a little bit, but I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
What did you think of the dragon? Did it look good? I thought it looked great. It was a different design for a dragon.
It was a different design for a dragon.
You see it in the trailer. It's mostly wood.
Falling apart.
Yeah, because it's wood.
It's wood?
Yeah, its outer skin is wood.
I don't think it was wood. But it was... I think that's the part I would have cut out, is more things with the dragon flying around all the place. I would have cut out some of that. But I like I thought it was neat. I knew the unicorns were going to come to the rescue. I think they could have cut out some little parts. It would have made it faster with that part with the unicorns and stuff.
That's a spoiler.
Oh, sorry. Anyway.
This movie has... It apparently was made on the cheap. I believe, I looked it up earlier in the week, it was made for around $100 million. Now, for a big superhero movie, that's pretty cheap, okay?
Yeah.
And also, this movie has a lot of visual effects in it.
It's a really nice movie.
They really, I think the costumes are different than the previous one.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, because before he had that light up chest, and now it doesn't really light up. It looks like metal, and it only lights up a little bit. They got a transparent thing when they're in their lair.
Oh, but they like blinged up the lair there. Teenagers hideout.
That's a spoiler. You get to see their lair if you saw the first one, and it's what they do with it is great. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Djimon Hounsou is back. Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu are both really good. I had a lot of fun with this. I don't think people are going to see this for a couple of reasons. Because, one, the marketing has been terrible.
It was buried at the movie. When I went to find the movie, it was like down underneath the movies that had come out months ago. It was like all the
TV spots and online ads, there hasn't been very many. So people don't know that this is out again. But here's the thing. The last couple of movies that we got Quantumania, which people didn't really enjoy. And it's still playing, but no one's going to see it.
Universe.
Black Adam didn't do so great, and people have checked out on the DC brand, so general audiences are not going to see this as much.
I think it was much better
if you have the chance, go see Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I recommend it. I had a really fun time, even though I didn't think it was as good as the first one. I still give it the best movie ever.
Listen, it was much better than Black Adam, much better than Ant-Man.
I had fun with Black Adam.
I really liked it.
What rating would you give this movie?
I'd probably give it like an 86.
Okay. Well, that was our review. Sorry that Christine spoiled a few things there.
You said there was a dragon in it.
It's in the trailer. It's in more than one trailer.
I wouldn't.
That's not a spoiler if it's in the trailer.
I wouldn't have made the unicorns look like that.
And there's another spoiler.
It's unicorns.
I guess I'll have to put up with the spoiler. There's a lot of...
or as my family member likes to say, unihorns.
There's a lot of mythical creatures in this. Anyway, check out Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Let us know what you think. Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you're not going to see it, let us know why. Down in the comments below, we'll read it out on the next episode. Moving right along, we watched on my new Blu-ray 21 Jump Street from 2012. I got this Blu-ray pack of 21 and 22 Jump Street, so we got to review this one before we watch the next one. This movie's great. Okay, this is gonna be a spoiler. We might spoil it.
It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
It's not for kids, but this is a great buddy comedy. And if you know the old show 21 Jump Street, I mean, they bring back cast from it. I mean, who would have thought that they would have brought back Johnny Depp for this? That he would come back to this because he started out on television on Jump Street. He has a minor
role in this.
Yeah, he's a cameo appeance.
Yeah,
him and one of the other guys. I never watched the show back in the day. It's from the late '80s, early '90s.
But I enjoy it, and they get in trouble, and they're goofs, and
yeah, the whole point is that they join the police force and they become friends because it starts off with them in high school. And he's a nerd, and what's his name? Channing Tatum. He's a cool jock.
I don't even think he's a nerd. He's like an outcast. He's like dressing like Slim Shady. He's not a nerd.
He's trying to be cool.
He's a awkward kid.
But he's smart.
I know, but he's not. I don't know what he is. It's just weird.
The comedy in this is great because both Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum are great, and then you got the stereotypical angry black captain played by Ice Cube, who's not a great actor. No offense to him, but he's great in this role.
They are such a.
I can picture Ice-T being like this all the time, just yelling at everyone and being mad. I don't know what the guy's like.
He can have that face. He can look so grouchy. I'm sure he wanted to burst out laughing.
You got Rob Riggle, who's hilarious, and this is the first time I saw Dave Franco appear in anything. Who is
he's young?
Yeah, he's young in this. And he's gone on to do other things. He's great in it too.
Yeah,
What surprised me on this viewing, because I haven't seen it since we saw it in the theater.
Oh, really? I've seen it a lot of times.
No, that's not true. I probably did see it, but not for several years.
I own it on my tablet.
This movie's now 11 years old.
Yeah, I have it on my tablet.
And I saw it when it was new. But there's a high school girl, because they're infiltrating high school and posing as high school kids, even though they don't look like they're high school teenagers at all.
Well, they say they were held back a while or something.
Yeah, it must have been held back like 10 years. But the high school girl that Jonah Hill becomes friends with, they don't get romantically involved because she's supposed to be a teenager and that would be inappropriate. And they're cops. Is played by Brie Larson, a young Captain Marvel. And I'm like, wow, that must have been the first time I saw her in anything. Yeah. I didn't know she was in this.
I know, you forget who's in it, like the teenagers. Anyway, it's a fun movie.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. If you want to have a good time and just laugh like crazy, 21 Jump Street, and I don't even think it's that long.
You remember? They're just so
109 minutes, so it's under 2 hours. It's 1:49.
Yeah, they're just like a really.
Yeah. And you're gonna be laughing throughout it.
And they're goofs. And they're a pair, that's for sure.
I mean, teenagers will like this. I wouldn't say it's for little kids.
Oh gosh, no.
But because one, they wouldn't get it. I mean, it could be inappropriate for some teenagers, but some teenagers will like. I found it hilarious. I mean, Jonah Hill's usually hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anyone out there seen 21 Jump Street? Oh, I give it a best movie ever. What do you give it?
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
Best movie ever?
I give it like a 93.
93, okay.
It's a little inappropriate sometimes, so...
What are your thoughts on 21 Jump Street from 2012? Man, that makes me feel old. We're going to watch 22 Jump Street next, but let us know your comments on this one down below, and we'll read it out on the next episode. Now, we got one of our favorite segments.
Oh, gosh.
Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
Do tell, what happened in this episode?
So, an update on the crew. This is episode 7.
Still watching it.
It's hilarious. So, episode 7 is called Eye of the Needle. Now, I've noticed one thing. So, Chakotay seems to be beer gut Chakotay this episode. Because he looks like he's gained weight.
He wasn't well that week.
Maybe, but it looks like he's gained a bunch of weight.
I remember him being heavy.
I mean, you can't really see it because they're in those black jumpsuits, right? But I think at one point I see him, I'm like, that guy looks like he's gaining weight in the gut region, so it doesn't look that good.
I don't recall him ever.
So this episode, on their way to the Alpha Quadrant, they've decided, they mentioned Janeway, okay? What's her name there?
Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew there. So, constantly distracted Janeway, who has to explore everything. She's ordered the crew to check out different anomalies on their way because they want to find because they want to find a shortcut to get back home. So they find a wormhole.
Oh well, you know not to go near a wormhole. Should know that by now.
Okay, so
they don't just like program the wormhole to get you back home.
So valedictorian Harry Kim discovers this wormhole, and they're like, we're going to name it after him. So they go make another detour and go check it out, and they discover it's only 30 centimeters in width. Oh darn, there's a problem.
30 centimeters?
So I'm sitting there, well, why don't they just do some science crap that they always do? Make it bigger and fly the ship through.
Put a probe through it.
Yeah, so they did send a probe through it, but it got stuck. Because this wormhole's deteriorating. Why? Science reasons. So the wormhole's deteriorating, and then what happens is...
Send a Roomba through it.
Someone comes up with an idea. I think it might be Angry Pants B'Elanna there.
Okay.
She comes up with an idea. It's like, we can send a subspace communication signal through it with, by adjusting it with science. So you can just picture them there with their old radio adjusting the frequency. It's like, oh, we gotta get this done. And they send a signal.
That hard
and what they discover is the wormhole goes to the Alpha Quadrant.
Oh, it does.
And they get an answer on the other side.
Well,
and there's this dick on the other side, and he's giving them a hard time. And they're like, we're in the Alpha Quadrant. We need your help. And this guy's like, who is this? No, my refrigerator's not running. Click. It's just, he thinks it's a crank. Anyway, and we find out why this guy's being a dick to him. It's because he's a Romulan. So,
oh well, that was bad.
Oh my goodness!
But I mean, they should have known. They would have been able to receive signals through this thing. By the way, science.
So this Romulan. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just figure. So then B'Elanna comes up with the idea later on. It's like, so this guy's being a dick to them. And then he's like, okay, he's a science officer. Okay, I'll talk to my government, the Romulans, who hate the Federation. Okay, maybe we'll help you out, okay? So then they get this idea, okay, so we can send communications, right? Everyone on the crew can prepare a message and we'll send it to them, and then he'll send it to the Federation. Maybe. Romulans probably wouldn't do that. They'd probably just take it for classified information.
They could shoot Harry's clarinet through that hole.
We haven't seen Harry's clarinet yet.
Maybe that's where it got there.
Last episode...
They said he left it home.
Last episode, we saw, what's his name there? Tom Paris? Ace fighter pilot Tom Paris / ex-prisoner.
He's good at everything.
Last episode, because there was all these little short stories that had nothing to do with the main story, the Nebula.
Right.
Okay? He showed Harry Kim his French bar that he goes to, where the women are always hanging off of him, and there's card sharks, and they're playing pool and that.
It's like Riker and Minuet.
So now this is the hangout spot, and they even get Janeway in on it. But so we saw that last episode.
Don't bring your boss to your hangout spot. That's like rule number 1.
Okay, so. They're going to send messages through this tiny wormhole because they can't expand it. Why not? Who knows? Seems dumb. Anyway, what they decide to do... No, then B'Elanna figures out, no, we can send a transporter signal through it. We just beam to the Alpha Quadrant.
Yes.
So what they do is...
They just figure that out.
This Romulan dick won't allow them to beam to his ship. So they beam him to the Delta Quadrant, right? And then they discover, oh no, there's a time variance. And that's bad. You know why? Because this guy's from 20 years in the past. So they got a wormhole that goes 20 years into the past into Romulan space. So could they just beam there 20 years ago? They're like, no, we can't do that. Prime directive. So the episode ends on, they send communications.
Yeah.
Okay? They give him a bunch of communications and beam him back.
And tell him to send them in 20 years.
Yeah. And then they find out, no, he died. so he didn't get to send those messages.
Send them.
So everyone's
He's probably wider than 30 centimeters.
The theme of this episode is the crew's really depressed because they're away from their family and friends.
How does he die?
He just dies 5 years before the 20 years is up.
Well, he could have got someone else to do it.
Maybe,
Jeez.
but doubt it. They don't know, and now they just have to continue on to the Alpha Quadrant. But one interesting thing did happen at the end of the episode. Going back to Mrs. Five Jobs, Kess, because she has so many jobs on this show.
And she's not qualified for any of them.
Well, apparently she's doing really well learning human anatomy and physiology.
Oh, okay.
She's
now
studying
she's
all this
that.
stuff with the doctor. So we see her in this role again. So maybe she got to keep this job. She seems to have been fired from all her other jobs because they never mention it again.
But technically, she's like an infant.
So
because her people only live 7 to 9 years. Or
I thought it was 2 to 3 years.
No, I think it's 7 to 9 years or something.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
who cares? She's a Star Trek elf.
Baby Yoda and opposite.
So she's learning a lot about this and hanging out with the doctor, and she's feeling a lot of empathy for him because the crew, really just one guy, is treating him like a dick because he's a hologram.
Well, he is a dick.
He is a dick, right? Anyway, at the end of the episode, he decides he wants to be more of a person, so the doctor there, okay, Mr. Sassy Pants Doctor, decides that he's going to be nicer to people. And also, Kess is going to stand up for him so that the crew stops bullying him. And he decides at the end of the episode, he wants a name.
Oh.
And that's the end of the episode. So thank you for joining us for another episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
Yes.
If you're a fan of Star Trek Voyager, maybe you particularly like this episode, let us know down in the comments below. It is one of Christine's favorite show, and I'm enjoying watching this series because it's kind of hilarious.
It's not good.
Now, before we end, we got one final reoccurring segment we're going to go through, which is one of my personal favorites. Yesterday, I got through about 4 or 5 episodes and finished season 3 of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, gosh.
Which, man, I love this show. It's so good. So, throughout this season, Penny and Leonard are dating, and they're involved, and it's great, and everyone's happy, right? We saw Bernadette earlier in the season for a couple of episodes, but then she just disappeared again. So I haven't seen her for a while. Oh, good kitty.
Howard will do that to a person.
Yeah, who would put up with Wolowitz? Raj has become this lonely, sad guy.
He always
I'm not saying he's pathetic, because he's not. He's a really fun guy, but he gets really sad and lonely all the time. The season ends, the two of them, Leonard and Penny, break up 3 or 4 episodes before the end of the season, so the season kind of ends on a downer. But we get the return of one of your favorite people, Will Wheaton.
Oh, yes.
Who's still playing the evil version of himself.
Yeah, he's like the Terran version
this one is
Will Wheaton.
This time we see the classic bowling game, okay? Where because they have to keep having, because before it was a card tournament. And now it was a bowling game.
He's the nemesis.
And they make a bet, and the losers, Sheldon and Wheaton, they make a bet, and the losers, it doesn't go well for the losers. It's pretty funny. I'm not going to spoil that. Hey, kitty.
Giant kitty. Welcome back, sweetie.
And we do get some interesting things near the end. So we get the first appearance in the last episode of Zach, who is Penny's really tall, sometimes boyfriend, and he's the really dumb guy. I mean, really, really dumb. And he's played that way. He's supposed to be a jock stereotype. It's pretty hilarious.
Okay.
But also in the last episode, we get the introduction of Amy Farrah Fowler.
Oh, okay.
And what's her name? Mayim? I think that's her name. She's great. Even in this first appearance, she's great. So we're gonna get more of the women coming into this show. Yeah. Man, I love this. I love this series. I'm telling you, there's a lot of Big Bang Theory fans out there.
I'm just, it's not my thing. I have watched it. It has some funny moments, but like I said before, I don't like the stereotypes and stuff. I think they're damaging. Anyway.
I disagree. I'm all about stereotypes and laughing at them.
Anyway.
Anyone out there a big fan of the Big Bang Theory? Do you know the kind of stuff I'm talking about? We're talking about this show. Let us know your comments. Do you like Big Bang Theory or not? And why? Let us know. We want to hear from you. Maybe you're like Christine. You're just sick of it, even though this show is amazing.
We're not doing a flag show, so don't ask me.
The second last episode is the origin of Leonard and Sheldon being roommates together. So they do a flashback. Okay. So it's kind of a filler episode, but it's great. And you see the origin of why the...
How long was the roommate agreement?
Oh man, they go through that roommate agreement. It takes them forever. But we see the origin of what happened to the elevator as well.
Oh, okay, because it's always broken.
Because we know it's always been broken for this show. So at this point of end of season 3, it sounds as if Leonard and Sheldon have been roommates for 7 years now.
Wow.
Because the story was from 7 years in the past, and now it's the end of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, classic stuff. I love it. Now before we sign off, we got some comments. Did you want to go through that, or did you want to wrap it up?
Well,
save the comments for the next episode.
Save the comments, but it's very long so far. Save the comments for the next, and then don't read any junk mail comments.
No, not junk mail comments. I've been responding to comments. We're gonna do comments next time. I'm thinking for the next episode, what we might do is we're gonna do something a little bit different. We'll probably record segments throughout the week, like short segments throughout the week, and then I might put them together because YouTube promotes the longer episodes. And then if I put them together and have them all ready, it gives us more freedom for when we record, and it gives us more flexibility. And then when it gets posted on YouTube and it's 2 hours or more, YouTube will promote that through their algorithm, and then we'll get more viewers and more comments, and then the show will become more popular, which is what we're looking at.
Busy in the week.
Yeah, but this will give us more flexibility to help you out and me.
But I'm not home. Anyway.
We're currently up to, I mean, this is going to sound pathetic, but currently we're up to 44 subscribers.
I got a subscriber last night. I told someone to subscribe, and they subscribed voluntarily. I didn't make them.
Yeah. Force your friends and family, trick them into watching the show, watching our hilarious ramblings. Christine, how can people get in touch with us?
Okay, they can get in touch with us. Email us, CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com. They can submit topics, news, or review media. They can also find us on Twitter @CanadaHosers. They can find Gregory on Twitter @St. John's Critic. And, I should explain that because we live next to St. John's, Newfoundland. We're
in the St. John's area and far east coast.
If you need to get our attention on Twitter, you can use the hashtag #CanadaHosers. And Kitty's back.
There's Fluffy Kitty.
She's been walking around here rubbing on her feet.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that's everything.
That's everything. We'll read out more comments on the next segment that we record. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Hi, dear. So we're here for St. Patrick's Day. I got you a gift. I forgot to give it to you on episode.
Thank you. And I got you a gift at your request for gifts for St. Patrick's Day.
Well, not really.
Listen, I am 16% Irish. So okay. I got the paperwork to certify that.
All right, thank you, dear. I got a 4K copy of Solo, a Star Wars story. Looking forward to that.
I don't think it was the best movie, but still.
It's not the greatest Star Wars movie, but it's fun. I think I might enjoy it more on subsequent viewing.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, it's got an all-star cast.
It's got a Hulk out for this one.
Alden Ehrenreich, Woody Harrelson, Emilia Clarke, Donald Glover, Andy Newton, and Paul Bettany. So,
what is this? It's a shrunken purple thing. Is this like when we open this is gonna like expand and take over the entire room?
Oh, look at it!
Oh, it's a Snuggie.
It's a Snuggie.
Watch out when you crack the seal.
Apparently
the scissors.
They vacuum wrapped it.
Now watch when he cracks this with the scissors. It's gonna like take over the entire room.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I'll have to get some scissors. Here, try these.
Oh my goodness. It's like, okay, watch out, everybody. It'll be an explosion.
Open it in my direction.
It's like when I tried to use those vacuum bags for my suitcase, and then the seal broke in my suitcase. Right, like poop.
Fun?
Oh, it's soft.
Yeah, it's supposed to be soft.
Oh, thank you. It looks snuggable. How is it supposed to go? Am I supposed to wear it?
Yeah, you wear it. You put your arms through the sleeve, just like the other one I got you.
Well. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
I feel
Awesome.
like Grimace.
Yeah, you kind of look a little like Grimace there.
You're definitely not wrong. Were you the Hamburglar?
I don't know. I don't really eat McDonald's, but okay, we're going to include this in our next episode there. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Take care.
Bye.